Hi, and welcome to O.A.R.S, award-winning nature-based adventure since 1969. This is a whitewater orientation video designed to familiarize you with your river trip, your equipment, and some things to be aware of in a dynamic river environment. Make note of any questions you have. Be sure to ask your guide to address your questions until the information is clear and complete. Let's get started. Fitting PFDs. This is a Type 5 Coast Guard approved personal flotation device, or PFD. Everyone on the trip will have a PFD, which is worn at all times while we're on the river. Each PFD is fully adjustable. The PFD can be tightened or loosened by using the straps on the side. O.A.R.S uses several brands of PFDs, but they all work the same way. To put on your PFD, open all the buckles and loosen all the straps. Make sure the pillow part is on the outside and not tucked in. With the pillow on the outside, buckles open, and straps loosened, put your arms through just as you would put on a jacket. Then fasten the buckles. When you fasten a buckle correctly, you'll hear it snap together. Double check to make sure all of the buckles on your PFD are fastened. Once the buckles are fastened, tighten the straps on the sides. Cinch the straps so that when you let go of them, the PFD fits snug and secure around your torso. You can test your PFD to see if you've tightened the straps enough by having your guide pull up on the lapels. If your PFD slides up toward your chin, it's too loose. Go ahead and pull the straps tighter and give it another try. Keep in mind that the straps on your PFD may loosen throughout the day. It's your responsibility to keep checking the fit of your PFD to make sure that it's secure. Your PFD must be worn with all buckles fastened and straps tightened at all times when we're on the river. You must also wear your PFD when swimming in the river. When going ashore, you may leave your PFD with the boat. Please make sure your PFD is clipped to something so that it doesn't blow away if the wind picks up. Buckle your PFD into the boat next to the seat you're sitting in when you leave, and make sure that it is not a tripping hazard. That way, when you come back, you won't have to readjust someone else's PFD to fit you. Helmets. At O.A.R.S, we strongly encourage you to wear a helmet at all times in a paddle boat or IK. If you would like a helmet for use while riding in an oar, raft, or dory, we'll provide one for you. Our helmets come in various sizes. Your helmet should fit comfortably and rest squarely on your head. If the helmet you try on feels too loose or too tight, try on a different size. Each helmet has an adjustable chin strap. To tighten or loosen the chin strap, undo the buckle and move the adjustable part of the buckle forward or backward on the strap. Then buckle it again. You should be able to comfortably slide 2 fingers in between the chin strap and your chin. Footwear. Proper footwear is essential to any river trip. The best choice is an amphibious shoe, like those made by Teva, which drain water but won't come off in swirling whitewater. They will protect your toes from stubbing and the top of your feet from sunburn. An old pair of tennis shoes will work almost as well. Sports sandals with a heel strap are okay. Water socks and flip-flops are not a recommended option. Footwear should be worn at all times. Paddles. Depending on which O.A.R.S trip you're on, there may be an opportunity for you to ride in a paddle raft. Refer to your trip literature to determine boat options. Each person in a paddle raft gets a paddle, which is used to propel and maneuver the boat downstream under the direction of your guide. A rafting paddle is similar in size and shape to a canoe paddle. On one end, there's a blade, which goes into the water. On the other end is a handle, called a T-grip, which goes into your hand. To correctly hold your paddle, place the hand that's closest to the center of the boat over the T-grip. Then place your other hand on the shaft of the paddle, just above the blade. From a safety standpoint, it's incredibly important to keep hold of the T-grip when you're in a rapid. Controlling your T-grip not only allows you to paddle when your guide needs you to, it also keeps your T-grip from swinging around inside the boat. Letting go of the T-grip can put your fellow crew members in danger of getting hit in the face. You can avoid that situation entirely by always keeping your hand over the T-grip. Boats. Your guide will show you where to ride and where to hang on in the boat if necessary. It's your responsibility to hang on, but important to avoid entanglements and loose lines and never tie yourself to the boat. Banging into anything hard on the boat can injure you. Boats are slippery when wet and you can fall. Boats can get hot enough to burn you too. Swimming. On every whitewater trip, there is a possibility that you, another crew member, or even your guide could fall out of the boat in a rapid, becoming a non-voluntary swimmer. You can help prevent involuntary swimmers by grabbing a fellow crew member before they fall out of the boat. If another crew member falls out, yell "swimmer" to alert the guide. If you fall out of the boat, you are no longer whitewater rafting, you are whitewater swimming, and there are a few situations we want you to be aware of. If you fall out, stay calm and stay alert. Try to do a 360 scan of your surroundings and be an active participant in your rescue. The goal is to get you out of the river as quickly as possible. So find your boat and find your guide first. If you can, grab onto the outside of the boat. That's going to make it easier for your guide or someone else to reach down and pull you back in. Never stand up in moving water. Even in light current, standing on the riverbed exposes you to a dangerous situation called foot entrapment. The bottom of the river can be rocky. If you try to stand up, it's possible for your foot to become trapped in between the rocks. Even in shallow water, the river is powerful enough to knock you down, at which point your trapped foot would keep you underwater and you can drown. Always keep your feet up and away from the river bottom when swimming in the river. If you've fallen out in the middle of a rocky rapid and you can't grab onto the boat, get into what's called the defensive swimming position. The defensive swimming position is floating on your back with your feet downstream. Keep your feet up so that you can see your toes. Maneuver yourself by using a backstroke. If you think you're going to hit a rock, use your feet to defend yourself. Hit obstacles feet first and push off rocks using your legs. As soon as you can, swim aggressively back to your boat, to the boat nearest you, or to the shore. Look downstream and identify obstacles, such as rocks, as well as safe places like rafts. It can be difficult to see everything from the water, so try to listen to your guide. They'll be giving you instructions on what to do and where to swim. If you're heading toward a dangerous spot in the river, you'll need to roll over onto your stomach and swim aggressively. Again, listen for your guide and always be prepared to swim aggressively away from danger and toward safety. Getting back in your boat can be difficult, and nearly everyone needs help from inside the raft. If you're trying to get back in, hold on to the outside of the boat. When a crew member or your guide is ready to pull you back in, they'll grab onto the shoulder lapels of your PFD, falling back into the boat and pulling you in. Never pull anyone back into the boat by their arms. This can easily put too much stress on the shoulder joint and cause injury. Each guide's boat carries a throw bag. A throw bag is a sack stuffed with a long floating rope. If your guide throws you the rope, they'll yell to get your attention. When they throw the rope, swim aggressively over to it and grab on with both hands. Make sure you grab onto the rope and not the throw bag itself. Once you're holding on, roll over onto your back and get into the defensive swimming position with your feet pointed downstream. Hold on to the rope with both hands, positioning the rope over your shoulder. Your guide will pull the slack out of the rope, pulling you over to the boat. Whenever there's a rope in the water, you need to be careful to avoid becoming entangled in it. Never wrap the rope around you or wrap the rope around your hand, and always be able to let go of the rope if your guide tells you to do so. To breathe while swimming in a rapid, you'll have to time your breaths. Swimmers usually stay above the water in the troughs between waves and go underwater at the crest of the wave. Try to only breathe in the troughs and hold your breath at the crests of the wave. If you find yourself under the raft at any point during a swim, raise your hands up above you so you can feel the floor of the boat. Then, use your hands to walk yourself over to the side of the boat and out from underneath it. Once you're there, hold on to the boat and someone can reach down and pull you in. Hold on to your paddle. It can be used as a tool to get you back into the boat. Think of it as a long extension of your arm. If you're holding on to your paddle, you can reach it up to someone in the boat, which they can then grab onto and use to pull you over to them. Likewise, if you're in the boat, you can reach your paddle out to someone who's swimming. The blade is difficult to grasp, and it's easy to have one slide right out of your hands, so always extend the T-grip part of the paddle to someone to grab onto. If you swim completely out of a rapid to the riverbank, stay put. Let others know where you are and wait for your guide to come to you. If all of the rafts on your trip have already passed and you can't see anyone to let them know where you are, be patient. Your guide will know where to look for you. Every once in a while, even your guide will fall out of the boat. If you find yourself in a boat with no guide, stay ready to paddle. Your guide may be giving you instructions from the water, or a guide in another boat will give you instructions on what to do. If you can't get instructions, try to stop your boat on shore or in midstream. River hazards. Wherever there are rapids, hazards present themselves. Here are a few situations we want you to be familiar with if they come up out on our river trip. If the boat gets pushed up against a rock, there's a chance that it could flip over or even get wrapped around the rock. To try to keep that from happening, we'll do an evasive maneuver called a high side. High sides involve moving everyone to one side of the boat or the other as quickly as possible. Here's how it works. When whitewater hits a big rock, there's a lot of force involved. And if a boat comes between the rock and the whitewater, the force instantly gets transferred to the boat. The water will then grab the upstream tube and immediately push it down. At the same time, the other side of the boat goes up. The side that goes up is the high side, and if everyone moves their weight over to it, it helps to keep the boat from flipping over or wrapping around the rock. If your guide calls for a high side, move fast. The high side is usually the downstream side of the boat and the side that is touching the rock. If the boat you're in flips over, make your way out from underneath the overturned boat, using your hands to feel the boat above you, and walk your hands in one direction until reaching the edge of the boat. Once you're on the surface, hold on to the upside-down boat and wait for instructions from your guide. It's very important that you stay on the upstream side of any boat that is flipped over. Being on the downstream side could put you between the boat and any obstacles in the river. Another hazard to watch for is called a strainer. Strainers are made up of trees, logs, or piles of driftwood stuck in moving current. As the name implies, water passes through these obstacles, but solid objects do not. In the unlikely event that you fall out of your boat near a strainer, swim aggressively away from it. If there's no way for you to avoid the strainer, you must go over the strainer by climbing on top of it. Other concerns. The goal on a river trip is to have a great time, and we want you to get the most out of your experience with us here at OARS. To help make sure that happens, we're going to set a couple of rules for the trip. Don't jump into the river unless the trip leader gives you the okay. We're very familiar with all of the best swimming spots on the rivers we run, and we promise to give you the go-ahead when the time is right. There's absolutely no diving on the trip whatsoever. The bottom of the riverbed is rocky, the depth uncertain, and going into the water head first is an unnecessary exposure to serious injury. It's not safe, so never, ever dive into the river. Alcohol must not be consumed either before or during a time when we are heading downriver. If you are found to be intoxicated before your trip, you will not be allowed to go. This is a strict rule of the river managing agencies. No exceptions. On a multi-day trip, alcohol in moderation for those of legal drinking age is allowed in the evening while in camp. No illegal drugs are allowed on the river. If you have illegal drugs, or we find you to be under the influence, you're endangering yourself and everyone else, and we may be forced to remove you from the trip. Please don't litter. One of the reasons OARS trips are so great is because we get to go out into pristine environments. On your river trip, take only pictures, leave only footprints. Evacuations can be lengthy, difficult, and dangerous, and in some cases may not be possible. Weather, terrain, and darkness make evacuation impossible in many places along the river. If an evacuation can be made at all, it could take days to get to professional medical attention. Considering our distance from medical facilities, it is critical to always use caution and common sense. Act responsibly. We ask for your utmost cooperation if an evacuation becomes necessary. You can help by doing what your guides ask you to do and remaining calm during adverse circumstances. Many people come to the river to find solitude, and these trips are perfect for that. But please, don't hike or swim alone, and always tell a guide where you are going. Preferably, tell the trip leader. We travel on the river as a group, and we promise that you can find ample time for yourself, even while letting us know where you are. Finally, we have to talk to you about water fights. Is there a better place for a water fight than a river trip? Probably not. But please, be considerate and careful. Don't splash anyone who really doesn't want to get in the battle. Don't move from boat to boat. And watch those paddles. A misplaced backswing can stop a good water fight in its tracks. IK, Inflatable Kayak. Inflatable kayaks are a great way to travel on the river. Refer to your trip literature to see if IKs are offered as an option on your trip. There are some specifics to these boats that we want to go over before we hit the water. To position yourself properly in the boat, sit with your lower back against the inflatable pillow and stretch your legs out in front of you. Sit up, don't slouch, so that you can lean into the waves and obstacles. Hold your kayak paddle with both hands out in front of you, with your elbows slightly bent. Check to see that your hands are at equal distance from the blades on each side. If you're holding the paddle correctly, you should see the rough shape of a rectangle formed by your PFD, your paddle shaft, and your forearms. Paddle your kayak forward by alternating strokes on each side. Turn the boat by taking a backstroke on the side you want to turn to. If you want to turn left, take a backstroke on the left side. If you want to turn right, take a backstroke on the right side. Getting the boat to go where you want it to takes some practice. Swimming out of an IK is common even for experienced paddlers. Here are a few tips. Paddle in a controlled manner. If you're making a splash with your paddle, you're working too hard. If the boat starts to turn, stop paddling and take a small backstroke on the side you'd like to turn to. Then, start paddling forward again. Repeat the process each time the boat starts to veer off course. Eventually, you'll learn to turn the boat with what's referred to as a sweep stroke. A sweep stroke makes a wide arc away from the boat. Using sweep strokes instead of backstrokes allows you to turn the boat without stopping your forward momentum. Try to move your paddle with your whole upper body instead of just your arms. By twisting slightly with your torso, you utilize the larger muscles in your back rather than relying on the smaller muscles in your arms. One way to check to see if you're using the right technique is to try to keep the rectangle we referred to earlier in front of you. If you look down and see a triangle shape, it means you're using your arms to paddle instead of your trunk. The way to paddle an inflatable kayak through a rapid is to try to hit the rapid straight on while leaning forward. If you can point the front of the boat at a wave and paddle through it, you're much less likely to fall out or have the boat tip over than if you hit the wave sideways. Paddle aggressively into big waves. If you do go into a wave sideways, lean downstream into the wave. It's nearly impossible to overdo it. Of the countless river trips with oars over the years, very few people can say that they fell out from leaning downstream. If you do fall out in a rapid, hold on to your paddle and stay with the boat on the upstream side. If the boat is upside down, flip it over as soon as possible. From the upstream side, reach over the top and grab onto the self-bailing holes in the floor. Pull toward you while at the same time pushing down on the upstream tube. Now get back in. Put your paddle inside so that both your hands are free to pull your body in. Plane your body flat out on your stomach with your arms extended. Then pull the boat underneath you while kicking your legs in unison. Once you're in, get seated and continue paddling downriver. Any questions? Like we said at the beginning, the goal of this whitewater orientation video is to get you familiar with some of the ins and outs that can occur on a river trip. Conditions will vary significantly depending on the river, the weather, and time of year. Your guides will provide a detailed safety talk at the river and address the specifics of your river trip. If you have any questions or do not understand any of the concepts, give us a call, send us an email, or peruse the website to find your answer. And always, please make sure to ask your guide to go over it until the information is clear and complete. There are more risks involved with river trips than we have identified or could possibly list. New risks can spontaneously appear, and there are forces in nature that can be beyond any person's control. River trips occur in a dynamic natural environment where passengers cannot be made 100% safe and personal safety cannot be guaranteed. Listen carefully to your guides and take personal responsibility for your own safety. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out on the river.